Okay, so actually, amongst the things I do, which is sit on the Transparency Board and chair the local public data panel in the UK, I'm also very excited by some work we're beginning called My Data. I think there'll be a movement one day that's just as big as this, which is around getting our data from businesses who have it and making it available. Okay? That is a big other course to come, but that's not for today. Just to remind ourselves, I often use this graphic, it's nice. It's what we did back in 2009 when we tried to imagine putting data together in the UK, and we realised that when we produced our postcode paper, and I'm carrying around a tatty copy in my bag, that we were actually breaking about 80% of the content in there would not have been legally reproducible. We got there in 3 months to our first open data site. And in 24 months, we have a UK site of some size and scope and ambition. So we should kind of take pause to say, wow. And in the same way, we should take pause to congratulate you, the communities that have helped that happen all around Europe. And now we've got powerful political backing, not just in individual countries, but as we know, from Louis Croix as well, and the Commission in Europe. So these are exciting times. And this happens because of all the good things around openness, groundwork you set in place. You know, really, I can talk about technology, it's about people, as we know, people at the top, the middle, and the bottom. It's about the idea. And the idea is powerful, right? The example often people give you is cholera. That's the cholera thing at the top, and of course, Snow in the 19th century worked out that if when they published the data on where people were dying and the water sources, they made a discovery. Hey, cholera was waterborne. That at the bottom is MRSA. That is a hospital-acquired infection that kills people. Okay? You publish that data out, and actually, guess what? Infection rates in hospitals get a lot better. Nobody wants to be at the bottom of that league table, or the top, depending on manufacturing. This works. So we've got lots of stuff happening at all scales, across Europe, through the world, in the UK, states, regions, cities, and actually recently we've seen it happening in our own organisations. And I would say, go back to your own organisation and say, how do we measure up to the Open Data Challenge? This is University of Southampton's Open Data site. When we do that, we have to build things like schemas for reuse. And it turns out that the schema for a university is probably going to be quite self-similar around the place. The things we're all interested in are much the same. Let's share them. So the results. We have results. We're producing a continuous flow of data. We're trying to improve the quality of that data. We've got apps following from the data. And we've got a very important scalable license. All good stuff. Okay. And there's more to come. But, so this isn't doom and gloom, but it's a but. But, you know, people say, oh, the UK's got its act together, but this isn't open data. Okay, this is the Met Office site. This is our weather site. I can go to it, I can look at the weather situation, I've got to scrape the site. Okay, and when I look at the license, it turns out not to be as permissive. It's not an open government license. So I can't get my primary weather data in the UK. I can't get my basic environmental data. This is about flooding. Okay, it's got a weird license. They actually think they're doing open data. Okay, but they're not. So we've got a long way to go. This is my own sector, the Higher Education Statistics Authority in the UK. It collects statistics about university admissions, a whole range of stuff. I can download the spreadsheets, but the license is crap. Okay? I can't reuse it, I've got to get special permission, it's not open data. And of course that's not open data either, because you think you made it open and you can't find it. So we've actually got to put a bit more work in, I suggest, to the whole area around making sure that what we put up there is maintained and still fit for function. And we've got to ask ourselves some questions now as we get bigger about the thing that matters to us, people. Do we have the right mix in this community? Developer skills, sure, but the design skills, the conceptual flair to think, hey, you know what, if we put this together with this, that would be a very cool concept. Or some business acumen. We need some open data, open government data business success stories, okay? And you might think, oh, that's mathematics, that principle, but actually you will convince people more if we are showing how this stuff can lead to some of the economic value we promise. And we need people who can also talk policy as well as technology. I'm not entirely convinced we have all the tools we need. It's still a sweat when you're out there to clean, to redact, to structure, to annotate, to publish out. Oh yeah, we've got, you know, Google Refine, we've got this and that, but we're not fully, I think, equipped with the right kind of tools. To store, to visualize, to analyze, to query, to link. There's so much more still to do. And do we have the data? Well, we don't always have the inventories. Do we have it that matters? Is there a presumption to publish with an open license so you can find it? All of that's still to do. So we've come a huge distance, but that's a big list of points. And the thing that really gets me going is, even when we do all this work, we get stuff out there, and we produce good URI schemes, we don't reuse them. So publishers just don't know that they could, should, or ought to be using our standard reference URIs, because that will give us an ability to link, and linking is going to make this stuff much more valuable. The kind of services that we provide, for example, my own research group, got a group who's doing this work on SAMAS, which links all URIs. And the reason it's a problem is there is just hundreds of URIs out there about an object I care about, Southampton. So we do need services as well as tools to make this flourish. There's plenty to do from the technologies. We need to remain, I would suggest, we need to retain a degree of simplicity. It's easy to complicate beyond the necessary point. Not just technology, but process. Somehow we need to remain agile. We've got this far because we didn't become massively process bogged down. We've got to clone ourselves and replicate. This is a good start, but there's we need to have essentially self-similar groups, not just across the activist and developer community, but in government. And there's a challenge. How do you provide that or to the service providers to government with those skills? We've got to build the ecosystem. And actually, you know what? We've got to speak up. And to those, not just those in the UK, this means speak up when we have things like consultations underway. We have 2 consultations in the UK, the Open Data Consultation, Making Open Data Real, and the Public Data Corporation. We urge you to contribute. You can contribute, by the way, if you're a non-UK citizen. Anybody contribute to our consultations. Let your voice be heard. And actually what we're just doing at this moment is we're just going to posting a blog from the Transparency Board to, just for the avoidance of doubt, line out a few points about what we think is important in this consultation, particularly the one related to the Public Data Corporation. Right? It's important to know that there is one irreducible truth. The value of data, that this data is in its use and not in its sale. Okay? It's important to say that whatever is put in place, whatever arrangements are made, the mission must be to actually promote growth, innovation, public service improvement and efficiency. It's not to sweat assets. It's important to say that if you're going to do this, you're going to be releasing more and more data, open data over time. And then actually to recognise when you have bits of government who are incentivized to generate cash and surplus around their data, their management's incentives will not always align well with the larger public good. You've also got to understand that we need a structure that protects our vital national interest in the data. So selling off data doesn't have a good track record. Ask the Dutch government. Okay, who sold its address file and its postcodes and has been paying handsomely ever since for them. We've got to determine what the core reference sets are that make modern governments work. What is the public good digital infrastructure that we need under the sorts of terms that Andrew was talking about earlier? And if we're going to do all of this, why aren't we looking for that additional open data right now? That primary weather data that I was looking at just should be available. So there's more in the statements that we've, I think, about to or has come up. But that's our view. What we really, really, really do need is to hear your view. Okay? And it really is incumbent on us as a community to say, to articulate, to write in, and not just sit and grumble into our beer. Thanks very much.